So I kind of dropped the ball on my videos that I was supposed to be making for Genital Integrity Awareness Week. So here I am now because it's never too late for some education. This topic of this video is going to be about cleanliness. A lot of people think that a circumcised penis is actually cleaner, and that's not really true. The penis is a self-cleaning organ, just like your eyeballs are. We wouldn't really use soap to clean our eyes and stuff like that. In infancy, the foreskin is actually fused to the head of the penis, which is also called the glans. And this serves a purpose. It protects the penis and keeps out things like feces and bacteria and things like that. Prevents infections by keeping all this stuff out. And doctors actually give bad advice when they tell parents that you need to retract the foreskin in order to clean it. When a parent goes to clean under the foreskin, they retract it, and that breaks the seal, which is also very painful for the baby. But once that seal is broken, then all the stuff like feces and bacteria all can get in there and can harbor under the foreskin, and actually that's when the infections start happening. I talked to someone recently about, she said that her doctor told her that she needs to retract and clean under the foreskin during every diaper change, and she does that, and he's still getting incessant infections, and she had to circumcise him. And I just wish that the doctors would have been educated enough on intact, don't retract, so that that baby did not have to be circumcised. The human body has been fine-tuned, and whether you believe in evolution or God, most things serve a purpose, and the foreskin is not there on accident or just extra. It's protecting the penis from infections and protecting the sensitivity of it, which is another topic. But yeah, so the only person that should ever retract the foreskin is the owner himself. So that can happen in childhood or adolescence, whenever the foreskin naturally becomes retractable. And that is when the, say you have a small child and his foreskin is becoming retractable, you would just teach him that when he's in the bath or the shower to pull the foreskin back and rinse with water. You don't want to advise to use soap, because soap can actually throw off the pH balance and cause things like yeast infections. And that goes the same for people who have vaginas. We should never use soap down there. It can cause yeast infections as well. But typically when you take your daughter in and say, I think she has a yeast infection, or whenever, if you go to the doctor, they give you medication for it. But if you take in your son and say that he has a yeast infection, they might suggest circumcision, which is just absurd, since we don't automatically think of amputating a part of the girl's body just for a yeast infection. Which, speaking of the seal, back to that, it's actually this. Think of your fingernail being fused to your finger. Can you imagine having that ripped apart or torn off? It's incredibly painful for these babies. A doctor during a circumcision has to rip apart the foreskin from the glands, and there is no adequate pain relief for these babies. It's incredibly sad and totally, utterly unnecessary. It's there for a reason. And having an open wound now after a circumcision is far from clean, being sat in a diaper. So, yeah, remember that if you're a new parent, and a doctor tells you you need to retract the foreskin to clean under it, please don't listen. Don't listen. Maybe even educate the doctor that if a child is intact, you do not retract. Intact, don't retract. The way you would clean it is just wipe it like you would a finger. If you had like some like sticky syrup or whatever, you would wipe with a baby wipe. That's how you would clean a penis. And that's all it really takes. It's there for a reason. It's there to protect. It's sealed. It's fused there. So, yes, just remember this stuff next time someone tells you you need to retract. Anyway, that's it. Intact generation is here to stay.